Good afternoon. I am Moy MacDonald, the Managing Director of Biophosphate Solutions. We operate in the wastewater treatment industry. It's not the most glamorous of topics, but everybody produces sewage. And this sewage is processed at water treatment plants who release the cleaned wastewater into the natural river system. But this wastewater is rich in phosphate. Phosphate is a nutrient essential for life, but in excess, it has a negative impact on the environment and has a negative socioeconomic impact on industries that exist downstream, such as fisheries. Because of this, the EU is implementing stricter regulations on the amount of phosphate that can be released into the river systems, but current removal practices are expensive. This is where we come in. At BPS, we install a reactor at a sewage treatment plant that contains phosphate-fixing algae. These algae remove the excess phosphate from the wastewater, allowing sewage treatment companies to meet the EU regulations more cheaply and efficiently than they can by conventional methods. We will then sell our expired algae as a phosphate-rich intermediary to fertilizer companies. Phosphate is essential for crop growth and thus is an important component of fertilizer. But it is mined from a dwindling global reserve and thus the price of it is rising. We are therefore providing a sustainable solution to the problem of phosphate removal in wastewater. We are asking for an investment of £1 million for 30% equity in our company. This will help us move from a fully functioning pilot scheme to being fully operational. At exit point 1 in 5 years, this will be worth £13.2 million. At exit point 2 in 10 years, this will be worth £28.8 million. Now I'll introduce the rest of our team, who will tell you more about our product, the market that we are operating in, our future operational plans, and our financial position. Our non-executive director is Joanna Cato. She has previous experience investing and mentoring in technological startups such as ourselves. As I've said before, my name is Moy MacDonald and I'm the managing director, and I have previous experience managing a technological startup. James Crosby is our financial director, and he has 4 years' experience as a financial advisor at Near Economic Consulting. Sujunu Ramelswal is our research and development director. He has 4 years postdoctoral experience and is industry partnered with Wessex Water, who are our current partners in this startup. Our marketing and sales director is Emily White, and she has 4 years marketing consulting experience at PB Kent. Our operations director is Michael Cooper, and he has 3 years' experience in this post in previous technological startups.
So how exactly will we enable ourselves to strip phosphate from wastewater so cheaply? The Biophosphate reactor is a multi-tiered tank system in which treated wastewater is biologically stripped from phosphate by phosphate-fixing algae that are fixed onto a semi-permeable membrane. Due to our multi-tiered system, we can easily replace these membranes by a new batch without disrupting the water flow. We piloted this scheme at one of Wessex Water's treatment facilities. I have a long-standing relationship with Wessex Water due to my academic collaboration with them. And therefore, we were able to start this pilot scheme in the vicinity of Bristol with an internal innovation grant from Wessex Water. Subsequent funding has come from numerous other grants as well as our personal and non-executive investment into the company. On the front of maximizing the protection of our intellectual property, we have pursued a dual patenting strategy where we have filed patent applications relating to both our newly crossbred algae species as well as our non-disruptive removal system for semi-permeable membranes. The relevant territories in which we have filed these patent applications are the EU, United States and Canada, following a PCT process. In the United States, we have filed a plant patent application conform US patent law requirements, providing us with 20 years of protection. In Canada and the EU, plants are generally not patentable. However, under the provisions of the Canadian Supreme Court ruling on the case of Monsanto Canada versus Schmeisser in 2004, we are able to patent the gene sequence responsible for this increased phosphate uptake and still enjoy similar protections as a US plant patent provides. Similarly, under the European Patent Convention, gene sequences with a disclosed industrial application are generally patentable. Therefore, we have decided to include the gene sequence responsible for increased phosphate uptake in all of our patent applications. These multiple patents as well as our advantage of being the first to enter the market, provide us with ample protection for the foreseeable future. However, innovation will remain at the forefront of our long-term strategy to stay ahead of the competition.
So what does our market look like? Phosphate stripping occurs as part of the tertiary wastewater treatment phase, and due to heightened restrictions as set out in the EU Wastewater Treatment Directive, all tertiary treatment plants will require a phosphate stripping phase. There are currently 193 tertiary wastewater treatment plants in the UK, and due to increased urbanisation, this number is set to rise to 650 by 2018. Very few of these existing tertiary wastewater treatment plants already include a phosphate stripping phase. Therefore, we're entering an expanding market and one that's currently untapped and waiting for solutions. We estimate the UK market worth of phosphate stripping in the UK to be £23.2 million currently and set to rise to £78 million. We're looking to move into our immediate geographical market by incorporating our Biophosphate reactor into the tertiary wastewater treatment plants operated by Wessex Water, following a very successful pilot scheme with this water treatment company. Wessex Water operate 11 of the 193 tertiary wastewater treatment plants in the UK. We'll then look to move into the area operated by Thames Water, who operate 47 of these tertiary wastewater treatment plants. From there, we'll move on to the rest of the UK. As we become more established, we'll look to move into the EU, the USA and Canada. These areas already enforce much tighter water regulations and operate a large proportion of tertiary wastewater treatment plants, with phosphate stripping already widespread. However, phosphate stripping is not part of all tertiary wastewater treatment plants, and for example in Eastern Europe, secondary wastewater treatment plants are rapidly being upgraded to tertiary ones. We are able to offer a better alternative for new plants and for old ones with outdated technology with regards to EU regulations. So why are we better? Our current competitors are electrolysis and chemical stripping. Electrolysis has a high cost of electrode replacement and is very energy intensive. Chemical stripping has a high chemical and sludge disposal cost, and the phosphate removed is not available as a nutrient. Our Biophosphate reactor, using a biological stripping method, on the other hand, is both cost-effective and energy efficient, leading to a much cheaper, more environmentally friendly alternative. We are also able to sell our algae on as a phosphate-rich intermediary. These two competitors are yet to come to market in the UK, leaving us in a very advantageous position. Our phosphate-rich intermediary leads me on to the second prong in our business approach. Currently, 2 billion tonnes of phosphate are used as fertiliser in the UK each year, and this number is set to rise across the EU and across the world. Phosphate is commonly mined from phosphate rock. This is a finite resource and stocks are dwindling, leading to estimated peak phosphate in the year 2033. Therefore, this is a very attractive market, as the price of phosphate will inevitably continue to rise. The UK fertiliser market is currently worth £2 billion, and we look to take 0.01% share of the UK market of phosphate for use in fertiliser. My background as a marketing consultant for a large fertiliser company, PB Kent, has left me with a fantastic network of contacts in the sector. We look to work with Origin Fertilisers as our first customer, as they have expressed a strong interest in our product, and as the largest fertiliser company in the UK, they have the best understanding of the market.
Your investment will enable our company to expand from our initial pilot plant to provide a continued service-based approach at wastewater treatment plants across the country, costing the customer a nominal initial setup fee with long-term running costs cheaper than all other available solutions. In the first phase of our expansion, we will have 11 plants across all Wessex Water treatment plants after 4 years, with a further 100 plants in place after 10. After which, we plan to expand into the EU, as well as licensing exclusive rights to our product and process in North America. In order for our company to expand in this way, there are several regulatory and logistical needs that we must meet. In order to facilitate this, we have outsourced the manufacture of plant materials, as well as made a partnership with a logistics company. Our Biophosphate reactor will be manufactured to our design by Derwent Water Systems. This is a well-established fresh and wastewater treatment equipment manufacturer company whose strict quality controls meet WFD standards and regulations. The algal seed stocks used in our culturing facilities will be manufactured and cultured in-house using bespoke metal tanks manufactured by J-Wolf Metalwork Limited. Of course, all our facilities will be upscaled accordingly as our company grows and more plants are sold. Our biophos reactors will be managed on an area-by-area basis, with 2 personnel in control of up to 5 plants, and each culturing facility will be managed by 2 technical personnel. Our phosphate-rich intermediary will be transported at a rate of 1,400 tonnes per year from each plant. This phosphate-rich intermediary will be sold on to Origin Fertilisers, a well-established fertiliser manufacturer company with strong local presence. In order for this need to be met and this rate to be transported, we have partnered with BHC Logistics. This partnership has been made possible by my previous contacts made at tech startup company AgriWatch. BHC Logistics has a fleet capable of carrying our cargo with all relevant REACH risk assessments and KOSH hazardous materials regulations.
Today, we are presenting an opportunity for an ROI of at least 13 times the initial investment. With an attractive dual exit strategy over either 5 or 10 years, our forecasts predict your £1 million investment will be worth between £13 and £29 million. So how will we do this? After a relatively stable period of research and pilot development, we estimate an exponential growth in cash flow, positive after year 3. Your initial investment will be sufficient to cover any unforeseen additional costs and potential reductions in revenue during this initial period of growth. This feeds both business stability and boldness. With our company going national, a ramp-up in cost is both foreseeable and expected. However, we estimate flotation on the SSX tech startup stock market after a period of 10 years, with an obvious exit here worth £29 million. With regards to revenue, our byproduct is by far our largest income stream. However, our service model provides a return that is capable of withstanding any potential future fluctuations in the market value of fertiliser. Expenditure is upscaled conservatively, with production a dominant cost. Expenditure makeup remains relatively stable, however, with increased distribution and rental costs associated with a progressive ramp-up in production. Our predicted forecasts of operating profit see growth from year 3 onwards, with your investment directly contributing to this growth. At year 5, you are rewarded with an attractive exit point. With the Avon and Thames markets becoming increasingly saturated from year 5, our plans to increase our national market share lead to a slight slowdown in profits, followed by a 3-year period of increased profit growth. With a predicted agritech PE ratio of 8, one offset 40% to account for the youth of our company, we offer an environmentally friendly, attractive business opportunity. Reducing the quantity of a mined finite resource, taking hold of a market that can only grow stronger, and having the know-how to translate science into technology, all combine to make Biophosphate Solutions your chosen investment.